Hello ladies and gents, welcome to We Chit Chat Wrestling, and today we're doing a top 10 list, and today's topic is top 10 little known Vince McMahon facts. Yes, the billionaire with the crazy hair is not the only biggest name in the wrestling industry, but one of the strangest. He made WWE what it is today, but some very fun things happened along the way, so sit tight and relax and try not to lose your mind at how crazy big Vinny Vince actually is. Number 10, the billionaire is actually not a billionaire. Okay, so at one point or another Vince has been a billionaire. After buying up WCCW in November of 2001, Vince was a billionaire for the very first time. Good. Then he lost money. A lot of money. Then in 2014, after building the company back up, his stock rose 89%. Vince was valued at $1.6 billion. Yes, $1.6 billion. When the network launched, initial uptake, well, it was awful. So the company took a big dive. Vince lost over $600 million. That's a tough business decision. Try making that decision. Try saying decision. Now, Vince hovers roughly around the 750 million. Not poor, but definitely not the billionaire he is billed as. Number 9, he made the WBF. Now everyone knows about Vince's failed business venture with the XFL. Yes, the Extreme Football League, because American football needs to be more extreme. But a lot of people forget about one of his other huge business failures. The WBF, or World Bodybuilding Federation. It was created in 1990 with the idea of competing against the IFBF. Apparently that's the biggest bodybuilder. I don't know. It's a big bodybuilding thing. He hired famed bodybuilder Tom Platz as director of talent organization and promised the largest amount of prize money in bodybuilding history. 13 competitors. They even had a feud against the WWE superstars. The first pay-per-view did okay. The second one did not do okay. It did horrendous numbers. So the company disbanded in 1992. We might all forget about this failure, but it was just as big as the XFL. Number 8, he nearly went to jail. Many forget about the steroids scandal that took place in the 90s for the WWE, and that's because they want you to, but it nearly cost Vince everything he owned. McMahon was charged with selling and distributing steroids to his wrestlers, a drug that was made illegal in 1988. Nails, a wrestler with the WWE in 1992, testified against Vince himself, saying that he was forced to take steroids. But he also stated that he hated Vince McMahon's guts, so his testimony was thrown out. And who was the man to save Vince? Well, that was Hulk Hogan, who testified on behalf of Vince and said that he'd never distributed steroids. If you look at wrestlers in the 80s, I'll let you make that decision. But McMahon was acquitted of all charges. But just to think, if Nails had have said that he didn't hate Vince McMahon, maybe Vince would have lost everything. Maybe the WWE wouldn't be around right now. Maybe it would be better. Who knows? Number 7, he has a degree in business. Now it's obvious that he's good at business. Look at him. He's worth millions. Not billions, but millions. But Vince came from humble beginnings. He earned a business administration degree from East Carolina University in 1968. It's safe to say that he's the most likely successful person to earn that degree from the university, because I've never heard. I googled that university. Nothing came up. 3 years after earning his degree, he went into the family business with his dad, Vince Sr., who put him in charge of wrestling territory, and well, the rest is history. 6. He was the ECW Champion. Now many deem this the final nail in the coffin of the ECW brand. When the WWE bought ECW and it became WWECW, Jesus, try saying that again, they attempted to keep their brand and give them their own weekly show and pay-per-views. The only problem is that the WWE, it ruined what ECW was, which was lots of guys doing stupid things and having fun. The show was watered down, and it just wasn't the same. Instead of having guys like Sabu and Rob Van Dam, you had Christian and Mark Henry, and that's That's not good. But the biggest lowlight was when Vince himself got the title from Bobby Lashley at Backlash in 2007. He won the title in a 3 versus 1, and he held it until the next pay-per-view. By that time the damage was done, and ECW really was dead. Number 5, he tore both of his quads in the Royal Rumble 2005. This is one of the strangest moments in WWE history. It was a Royal Rumble match, and the last 2 competitors were John Cena and Batista. And they both fell over the top rope and onto the ground at the same time, completely accidentally. The refs looked completely confused. They had no idea what was going on. And Vince, convinced by Chris Jericho, came down to the ring to sort out this mess. Except, on the way to the ring, he misfooted and tore both of his quad muscles. Both of them. He couldn't stand up, so he's shouting instructions, sitting on his arse, attempting to rectify this mess. He got help to the back, and the match continued. Batista won the match, but really, it's such an odd moment. Definitely worth a watch, though, on the WWE Network. Number 4, he opened a restaurant in New York. Oh yeah, the Big Apple, exactly where WWE wanted to be. It was initially called WWE New York, and then was renamed The World. But regardless of the name, this was a WWE-themed restaurant / nightclub in Times Square. The idea makes sense, but much like the XFL and the WBF, it failed inevitably. But it had a much longer lifespan. Opened in 1999, the top floor sold merchandise and the bottom floor was a nightclub. The one in the middle, well, that was for food, where you could go and watch Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and for 2 years, Sunday Night Heat was taped at the location. However, in 2003, they sold their lease to the Hard Rock Cafe to focus on global efforts. Whatever that means. Number 3, his son left for China. Oh yeah, Shane O'Mac, here comes the money. Dollar, 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 dollar. In the late 90s, the world became very familiar, not only with Vince and his wife, Linda, but their 2 children, Shane and Stephanie. While Stephanie has fully embraced the business, even married one of the wrestlers, Shane has always been a little more hesitant. First left the company when he was 15. Fed up with the horrible wages given to him by his father, he went out and got a job at triple the pay, which made Vince weirdly proud. He came back and worked his way up the ladder, eventually becoming Executive Vice President of Global Media and a part-time wrestler. Then in 2009 he left the company because, well, Vince stepped down as CEO and he didn't get that job. So he went out to see if he could make it without the help of his old dad. He became the chairman of a Chinese company by the name of You, which is like Netflix in China. The company hasn't boomed yet, but Shane is very confident that it will. And of course, with his return, he's now having to maintain working for the company again, and his work with this company as well. Number 2, he is dyslexic. Now, I admit this is more of a rumour, but I'm running low on facts, and well, this is kind of cool that he's got this far. Many different publications have reported this, but apparently Vince was dyslexic as a young man, and as he's got older has managed to overcome the issue. It's kind of incredible that he's become a millionaire, billionaire, millionaire, while suffering with dyslexia. Other famous people who suffer with dyslexia are F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ozzy Osbourne, and Ted Turner, the guy who Vince ran against in the Monday Night Wars. But even so, well done, Vince. Well done. And number 1, he only knew his dad from the age of 12. Now, everyone knows that Vince Jr. was given, or took, depending on who you ask, the WWE from his father Vince Sr. But a less known fact is that he didn't know his dad well growing up. In fact, he actually only met his dad when he was 12 years old. Having lived with his mother his entire life, he grew up under the name of Vincent Lupton. In an interview with E60, he said he lived with his mum and his stepdad in an 8-foot wide trailer. He also sadly said that he had been abused physically and emotionally by his stepfather, and says, "It was unfortunate my stepfather died before I had a chance to kill him." I mean, brutal. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.